wanted to, I guess, kind of join in with everybody else doing the review on the Lionel 2025 Volume 1 catalog. I don't want to go through the whole thing. There's plenty of people who are doing that. They are plenty of reviews, good, bad, ugly, otherwise. It's kind of amazing to see how the community is digesting this catalog. I wanted to wait a while. I wanted to really go through the catalog a few times, think about the things that I was seeing, maybe hear what some other people were saying about it before kind of doing again, I'm not going to do a full review. I'm just going to kind of just go through it quickly and kind of give a perspective on it that maybe not everybody's talking about. So, I mean, this is kind of more of an opinion piece. I'm not saying I'm right in any way. This is just kind of how I'm kind of looking at this catalog. So with that, I think we should jump in. So Lionel, obviously, we kind of knew with the 125th anniversary, they were going to be doing a lot of throwbacks, a lot of historically important, significant things to Lionel. So the Commodore is definitely one of those things that has been a staple. I mean, it hasn't been done in a long time with Lionel, but especially with the older style Lionel, the more of the colorful trains, as we would call them, it does make sense. So when I first went through this catalog, it was during a live with my friend Mike from Madge Trains. A lot of this stuff kind of just hit us in the face. We didn't look at the catalog ahead of time, which was very hard to do nowadays with leaks and things like that. And I mean, I kind of had a feeling certain things were going to be in there. The Commodore was not something I was fully expecting, especially in Vision Line. So seeing this first page with the Commodore being offered in a gold offering, I think is pretty cool. I think that's a neat way to commemorate the Commodore, give a really high-end version of it, because I'm sure that it's going to look really good, all glossed up, shiny. I'm really curious to see if it's going to be like a reflective high polish gold or if it's going to be more of like a metallic gold. It's hard to tell from this rendering. If it's like it's been in the past when they did the 700E Hudson, I think that was in, correct me if I'm wrong, I think that was either 1990 or 2000. I can't remember which year they did that. But that thing was reflective. I mean, that's a polished gold finish. This Locomotive of the Year, same thing. I don't know how this black looks. I know this is supposed to be copper. If it's going to be really shiny copper, that's going to be pretty cool with the gold brass piping. I actually think this will be a kind of neat looking engine. I do think it would look a little bit better without these giant 125th anniversary logos on it. I think they should have just done a small one in the front and maybe eliminated these big ones. And I think it would have been a little bit classier looking. These blue ones and this red one, I actually thought about this for a while. I really like these offerings. Again, because of the throwback nature of this catalog, I'm kind of calling this catalog a catalog that's not necessarily for us. It's a catalog for Lionel. It's Lionel celebrating Lionel, and I think if you look at it from that perspective, it makes more sense. This isn't going to be a catalog for everybody. It's barely a catalog for myself, but I can at least appreciate why they're doing what they're doing. I think these sets are going to look really good. Again, I don't collect stuff like this. I try to stay more towards scale and a little bit more towards realism. I do like my fantasy paint schemes. But yeah, I think these are going to look great. I don't think anybody's going to be upset with how these come out. And I understand why Lionel is offering these. Same thing with the S2 and the Scout. I think these will look really good. Are they kind of boring and bland? Technically, yes, they're pretty boring and bland. But I know why Lionel is offering them. I like the little Lionel logo here. I'm not sure if they're offering the S2 with it saying Lionel Lines and Pennsylvania. I feel like this is one where they should have done one of those removable nameplates. If they do, that's great. If not, I'm not sure. I'm not going to get into the prices in this catalog too much. I will talk about them a little bit. Prices for some of this stuff, definitely high. Other things were surprising in terms of not being more than I thought they could be. But I do like this offering. The Vision Hudson pre-war set. This is one of my favorite sets in this entire catalog. This engine, I really wish they made this a standalone option. I think they should have had this with a few different variations to it. This tender is going to look great. I'm assuming, and if anyone wants to clarify down in the comments, I'm assuming this is going to be a gray engine. It's not going to be black. This is definitely not black. This isn't black. The more tin platey style of these that I've seen that were previously offered are generally a gray, almost like a gunmetal gray finish. So I'm assuming that's what this is. It's definitely not black. I've heard a lot of people say this is going to be black. I really don't think that's the case. I do like these sets. Unfortunately for me, I don't have a place to spend this kind of money on something like this that I wouldn't really run on my layout with everything else I've collected. This is something I would buy and display, and it would probably almost have zero runtime. And who knows, maybe it's a super collectible down the line. Same thing kind of goes with the Trainmaster set. I don't collect diesels at all, not to this point. This is a nice set and nice offering. This is definitely for, again, people who are nostalgic for the older Lionel offerings. This is a cool set. For someone who does more of the modern stuff like myself, I started collecting in 2015. I didn't really know much about Lionel before 2015. Something like this doesn't really appeal to me, but I understand why it's being made. I can't get angry and upset and mad at Lionel for making these things. So this page has been a page of controversy. I understand why people, when they see a conventional set and the price that it's going for, you can go out and buy this, no problem, for way cheaper. You can get a used transformer. You can get some used track. You can go find these pieces. And yes, definitely less expensive, and you can have pretty much the same thing. Again, I'm trying to keep myself in a frame of mind that I understand why Lionel is making this. I kind of don't understand the pricing. I think that they're trying to make this more of a collector's item that someone probably never takes out of the box, and in 20 years from now they can turn around and sell it for 10 grand. Who knows with inflation what 10 grand actually would be worth. Maybe that's in 20 years from now, 10 grand is today's $1,000. Who knows? But maybe that's what Lionel's going for, because I don't see this being a set that someone's going to buy and run a lot. I think they're going to buy it and store it, or maybe display it. This would definitely make a nice display piece. I'm going to gloss over this stuff. Nothing too crazy for me here. I'm not interested in most of this stuff. I do like that they at least offer it in scale, 027 HO, and that stuff. Lionel needs to offer, I think the way that they did this, where they offered it in all the different types of scales, they need to start doing that with more stuff. I'm going to gloss over this. We don't really need to talk too much about this. Don't forget to get your Lionel pen. It is, I still can't believe what they want for them. Again, collectible, something to reflect the history of Lionel. I get why they're making it. Would I get one? No. Will most of you get one? No. But you have to remember, there are collectors out there that aren't on YouTube, that are not on Instagram, Facebook, so on and so forth, that they get these catalogs, they buy the entire catalog. They don't even care what's in it. They have that kind of money. They're that kind of collector. You know, you got to remember, Warren Buffett buys this stuff. I don't know how much of it he buys, but he's a train enthusiast, and I don't think money is a question for him. So he might be someone who has one of these pens on his desk. You never know. Skip through this. We're in O scale. So O scale is, of course, what I'm going to talk about mostly today. And this is where I model. A really nice looking Commodore Vanderbilt. I do like the way this engine looks. And we're going to jump into the Vision line. Vision line Hudson, we already knew that this was going to be in the catalog. I do like that this allows for another extended period of time to get pre-orders in, which I always worry about when they do those early offerings for the Vision line. It's like, do I have to make this decision now before seeing the big catalog? So this does help, especially with me, because I didn't pre-order a Hudson because I wanted to wait to see what was in this catalog. I am curious to see how this goes with the scale pilot trucks being available through customer service for all Vision line Hudsons. I probably will be someone who, when I get a Hudson, because I do have an order in for a Hudson, I probably will try to get those wheels. Very nice offerings. I will say it's a lot of all black, which from Lionel lately hasn't been the case. Usually you'd have, you know, black engine, black, and then you'd start getting into the fantasy schemes awfully quick. But these are very nice. Something I do want to point out, Lionel, with the water scoop effect's always been just 1, 2, 3. That's where the smoke comes out of. Here they are showing it coming out of all of them. I don't know if these are going to have it come out of all of them or just the customary 1, 2, 3. If it comes out of all of them, I mean, that's a pretty cool smoke effect that they just made really cool, if that's the case. I don't think that's the case, but we'll see. We can only hope. And then on the fantasy side, of course, the pacemaker, which I know people are saying that they're kind of throwing the pacemaker design at everything. They really haven't done too much of it. I don't think it's worn out its welcome yet. Lionel, with some of their specialty paint schemes that they've been using, they don't overdo it. I don't want them to water down the collectability on some of these finishes. This gray one up here, that's supposed to pretty much look like the Niagara Vision line paint scheme. I do like this one as well. I was on the fence about getting this one. If you stick around to the end of the video, I'll probably tell you guys which one I pre-ordered moving forward. But these are nice offerings. The Vision line Niagara Falls Deluxe. I really like this passenger set. I really hate how much they cost. I'm probably not going to be able to go for it. If these were more reasonably priced, if this 2-car set was $300, this one was $300, and the one with the sounds was maybe $500 MSRP, I would get this set. I just can't, at these passenger car prices, get anything new. I really like this one. Excuse me. If someone can get this and run it and make videos of it so we can all enjoy it, it would be greatly appreciated. I'm sure this is going to come out nice, but that is definitely a passenger set I wish I could get. We will get into the quote-unquote Vision line Commodore. So, in my opinion, we're going to go into my opinion real quick. This is a Vision line engine that really is towing the fine line between being just a nice legacy engine or a dud of a Vision line engine. I understand where Lionel's trying to make this thing special with the rippled metal, the details underneath that you're not going to be able to see anyway. It doesn't have stereo sound. Force couplers, I mean, a force coupler is a nice thing to have, but honestly, with some of my engines that have a force coupler, I've kind of grown tired of it. I like to be able to change the laboring effects on my own, as opposed to having the engine decide when it's under stress or not. Sometimes it's not even that accurate, because when you run one of those engines with a force coupler in reverse, and you're pushing a long train, but backwards, it doesn't sense that there's any struggle, because you're pushing that coupler in. So it's kind of a weird effect. Will this look nice? I'm sure it will look nice. Hopefully they run nice out of the box. The whistle steam is located nicely in the back, so it's not lost in the front. The bell is something that during our live, we realized you can actually see the bell. It's kind of like tucked in a little nook. Lionel said that the bell will not swing, even though it says it will. But even if they did make it swing, you could maybe see it a little bit. Maybe just the top go back and forth. But is this, in my opinion, a Vision line engine? My verdict is no. This is not a Vision line engine. Compared to all the other ones I have and I have seen, I don't think that this is a Vision line engine. It's close, but it's not quite there. This, the 20th Century Limited set, this is a nice set. I have seen the prices for these around $3,100 on sites like Charles Row and things like that. I think $3,150, which for the Vision Line Hudson, 6 cars and 4 of them do sounds. Given the price of the passenger sets from Lionel lately, I mean, to buy a 6-car set with a Hudson with that many sounds cars would probably be in the $4,000 range. So to be able to get one at $3,100, hopefully with a cool box, you know, it is kind of a super set, so hopefully it'll have a nice New York Central box. I think this is a good deal. The only thing that loses me is the Pullman cars in that greenish color are just kind of boring. I'd rather have something in a set with these passenger cars. If Lionel had built a set out of the Niagara Falls Deluxe with one of the Hudsons and made it the same kind of setup as this, I would have probably considered that. The Florida East Coast auto racks, I know a lot of people have talked about the auto racks. I am not a modern scaler at all. I don't understand the infatuation with auto racks. I know a lot of people like them. I'm not going to knock them or anything like that. If this is your bag, that's awesome. Making them Vision Line, I don't know if it's worth it. They are at least a big sized car, so I don't think you're questioning what you're getting for the size. And hopefully they are a nice fit, nice manufactured process, like where they're just robust and they don't break easily and things like that. I don't know if these cars open. I don't know anything about these, so I'm just going to go past them. And again, they do make some cool sounds. I like how they have the things with like the car alarms going off. I don't know if there's lights going on inside with the lights flashing from the cars. If that's the case, that might be pretty cool. They definitely did a nice wide variety of offerings, nice coloring, things like that. Hopefully, we get to see these when they come out. Hopefully some of you guys who have YouTube pages or Instagrams, things like that, you know, you get these and you post them. Let other people enjoy them with you. I think that's pretty cool. It looks like they have some end-of-train lighting. So we'll see how these come out. Now we're going to get into my bread and butter, Legacy Steam. I'm going to try to go quick. I don't want this to be a 45-minute review. Let's get into it. Legacy S2. The fact that they brought this back is great. I actually have a Christmas tree Lionel ornament of a S2, and I don't own an S2. I told my friend Mike that if they ever came out with an S2 with whistle steam, I'd probably end up getting one. I do plan on ordering one of these, most likely. I think these are a great value because I've seen them for pre-order pricing around $1,100, which for this engine I think is great. I did just watch the Lionel Corporation YouTube where they explain that they actually are going to try to make it where these have the standard turbine sounds with the option for chuffing sounds, and they might do a different turbine sound for when these go in reverse. So between whistle steam and 2 different sound options, to me, honestly, this thing is almost more Vision Line than the Vision Line Commodore. That's right, you heard me say it. I think this thing's actually going to be, if they have all that other stuff in here, this thing is arguably more Vision Line than the Vision Line Commodore. Sorry for all the sniffling. I am at home right now, battling the flu, watching my young son, who's also going through the flu. Cool little options. I like the one that has the removable mini smoke deflectors or smoke lifters. I think that's great. I love the whistle steam all the way in the back. So you get the cool 4 exhaust ports in the front. You get all this cool piping. You have the handrails. You have the throttle linkage. You have the whistle steam all the way in the back. It's a slick tender. I'm curious to see if they have the old tooling coal where it was like molded in, or if they're going to have a real coal load. Hopefully it's real. All these green ones look good. I don't think you could go wrong with any one of these. On the other side, the Tuscan red one looks. I think this looks great because it makes all the piping stand out because they contrasted it with some of the black. So the trucks in the black. They did the black smoke firebox. the black on the trucks in the back. They have the striping. This looks really cool up front. I think the red's going to really help you appreciate like the grading on the front here, the coupler, the pinstriping, the numbers, everything. This is probably the one I'm going to go in for. The chassis one is, I mean, the chassis, I have the Greenbrier chassis. I love it. I don't have too many things. I didn't buy the passenger set to pull. So it basically is like a fancy freight train on my layout. But again, these fantasy schemes sometimes really help make the details stand out. So, I mean, you can look on the chassis here. You can see all the extra piping, the domes, everything stands out. I like how they did the front up in black. All this extra piping and everything is just going to stand out. The spokes on the wheels stand out more, as opposed to if you go over to one of these that's all green, it does kind of all get lost. Looks prototypical. It's definitely still very nice, especially if you weather one of these. And again, to get all that piping to stand out, it's a nice way to go about it. I'm just going to say it. The Southern Pacific Daylight scheme on this, I thought about it for a week. And I'm like, why would they do this? Honestly, collectability, something for someone who, you know, because not everyone models PRR or even East Coast at all. Some people are West Coast only. I think this is a fun way, and you got to remember, this hobby is supposed to be fun. This is a fun way to have a really nice looking engine at a good price point. This is a great price point for a custom paint job on an S2, which I think is going to have a lot of features that's borderline vision line, and they have nice details up front for the grading. I can see that extra paint that they have up there. They're going to have a little daylight, looks like placard up on the front. They have this piping that stands out. I at first when I saw this, I was just like, why? Why would they do this? I have a AC9 daylight scheme. And you know what? People probably look at mine and they say, why would you get that? Honestly, it's fun. It's different. I mean, obviously the AC9 makes a little bit more sense, but I think this gives a little bit of fun. And what like Lionel was about originally was just having fun, a little bit of color, justifying some of the price, as opposed to something like this where it's just boring and blankish. Now, I can't tell if this is supposed to be all black or if this is like a hint of green. So maybe someone can get some clarification if this is supposed to be green or black. But I like the striping. I like the white walls on the wheels. I think this will look really good too. So that's my rant on the S2. I think this is the best purchase of the catalog. If you, especially if like say you're just new, you haven't bought anything that's legacy steam. Unfortunately, this is 072 minimum curve because of the tender. If you can fit this on your layout, I highly recommend you try to find one of these to add to your collection. I don't think you'd be disappointed. The Legacy Heisler. Again, another one where my initial reaction was way too overpriced. I was just like, there's no way this makes sense for it to cost this much. But then you think about it. You go in, you look at, it is small, but it has a lot of features of engines that it's got whistle steam, it's got really nice detailing, it's got nice piping, it's got full sound. All the drive wheels, you know, function. They all provide propulsion. It might justify. I don't know what the pre-orders are on these. I didn't look, but I'm sure that 1700 figure might be closer to 14.5 or 15. And I think they gave a nice variety. If you really always wanted one of these and it has all these features, you know, Lionel's not asking you to buy this every year. You buy it once, you take care of it, you enjoy it. I emphasize taking care of it. You know, maintain these things, learn how to maintain these things, and they should run a long time for you. That being said, is it a little expensive? It's a touch expensive, especially when you compare it to the S2. Is this going to be one of those engines, though, that when you put it on your layout, everyone's going to love watching go around? Yes. This will always get attention. You'll probably never be upset running it. You probably won't even think about the money you spent on it. So I have engines once in a while that I look at. I mean, and I kind of question why I bought it, but they weren't. It wasn't something where I'm like, oh, I should sell this. Like, cooler heads, prevail, and I'm like, you know what? I still love it. I still enjoy it. I think this is one where you're never even going to doubt the purchase. So that's my 2 cents on the Heislers. I think it's a good buy. Is it the best deal in the catalog? No. Not everything that Lionel puts out in a catalog is a good deal. I think it's fair, especially if there's good pre-order prices out there. Legacy A6. So I feel like these are coming out every other year. I might be wrong, but I feel like I see these all the time for offer. Nice options. I really like this Chicago and Alton. I'm curious to see how the purple maroon comes out, but it's got nice striping. I like how there's purple on the headlight. They try to kind of like splash things around. I don't know if this gray is going to be this light, especially after seeing how the gray came out on the F-19, the gray boiler, which is really like a white boiler. But I do like this one. The Erie, I like that too. We all kind of know how the Lionel Erie blue comes out now, so I don't think it's going to surprise anybody when it comes out a touch lighter than they're expecting. Chesapeake and Ohio is really nice with all the white pinstriping. Santa Fe, if you want to go with that, just all black. The black goes all the way to the front. Just a silver and a silver smokestack. Again, little details to separate these. I like how Lionel is doing stuff like that. The headlight locations being different. Even on the Erie, where the blue handrail continues blue into here, and it's blue all the way around. That's a nice detail. The little bit of blue on the cylinder. The hooded headlight up top with the little red number board in the front. Again, it's not the most detailed engine, but by making it have little nuances, I think it adds a lot of value. Pre-orders on these, I didn't look at them. I think they're around probably, if I had to guess, $750. Even if it's 800, again, it's a scale legacy engine with whistle steam. Right, let's make sure it has whistle steam. Yep, whistle steam. Runs on 031. Can run on just about anybody's layout, and you have a nice engine with nice sounds, nice features, and nice smoke. So I do approve of this. I know Atlantics have a history with Lionel, so it makes sense to me why this is in the catalog. All right, so Legacy Diesel, if you guys know me, I don't have a diesel yet. I was actually kind of hoping that this catalog would have a specific diesel in it, and I would have considered getting it. We'll get into that. Heritage units, I'm going to talk about this long on this. Cool, if you're into it, great. If you like it. If you don't like it, I get it too. I'm going to move on. These paint schemes look great. I hope they come out nice. Again, not for me. They look great. Hopefully they come out good. If you're into this, cool. If you're not, I get it as well. The nickel plate road, though, totally looks sharp. We're going to move on. I'm just going to move on. Trainmasters make complete sense for this catalog. Trainmasters are, again, they're part of Lionel's history. I get why they're in here. The pricing on diesels, I don't even know what is a good or bad price on diesels anymore. I'm assuming that, again, pre-order price is going to be less than this. So, I mean, if you want to tell me in the comments if this is decent pricing, ridiculous pricing, good pricing, let me know in the comments section, because really, I don't know. And I would like to learn more, I guess, moving forward. GP35s. I think people call these Jeeps. I could be wrong about that. I don't know the historical significance to Lionel of these. What I do know is, as I've gone through the diesel section, I'm starting to get upset a little bit, especially the first time I went through it, because I'm like, where are F and E units? Because I feel like F units and E units should have been a little bit earlier in this catalog. Again, SD40T2s, I don't know their significance to Lionel for a 125th anniversary catalog. Again, if someone wants to educate me on these, did Lionel make a lot of these earlier back in the day? I don't know. I just felt like the diesel section of this catalog didn't make as much sense to the history of Lionel as the steam section did. If you notice in the steam section, they didn't have any big articulated steam engines. They had 2 Hudson variations, which Hudsons are huge in Lionel's history. They had the S2, the Atlantic. They all made sense being in this catalog with the history of Lionel. I don't know how much these play into the history of Lionel. If you want to let me know in the comments, please tell me. Tell me what years these first came out, the significance to Lionel, because I don't know. The FA2s, I think, do play into Lionel's history more. I was really hoping to see an F unit, like an F3, in that classic Santa Fe war bonnet, you know, ABBA set, or an ABA set, or just an AA set. Like, that's what I was really hoping to see, and I might have gone in for that. Or like an E unit, or just a whole page of the Santa Fe war bonnets in different, you know, F units and E units. Because to me, Lionel with the Santa Fe war bonnet scheme, I mean, that's like introductory Lionel to me, for diesels at least. So, I mean, let me know what you think down in the comments on that. This set did catch my eye a little bit just because it comes pre-weathered, which I think is interesting. I like that this could become a really collectible item. I don't buy trains for collectability. I buy trains to use them. I run my trains. But I do understand a lot of people out there do buy trains to use them lightly and let them go up in value and potential resale in the future. I think this is a good one for resale in the future. Regular auto racks, I'm going to skip over these because, I don't know, they're auto racks. I'm going to skip to PS1 boxcars. I just want to talk about the price real quick. $220 MSRP is a lot, considering I have a few of these. I have 3 of these in my collection, and I bought them all when they were $100 after the pre-order. So like after pre-orders, they were in stores. You could get them for $100 from your, you know, I got mine from like Train World and stuff like that. So to see these prices is a little upsetting. It is getting harder to justify buying new rolling stock. I'm just going to put that note in. I mean, same thing, cabooses. It's not a special caboose. It just has lights. Doesn't have smoke. I mean, most of my cabooses have smoke in them, and they weren't this much when I bought them. So I really wish Lionel would figure out how to put a good smoke unit in a caboose to have a smoking caboose to justify these prices. All right, so we're getting to the part of the catalog where I'm going to go a little bit quicker. Again, I don't want to go too much on this. 40-foot double-door boxcars, this Great Northern and this Atlantic Coastline. I was considering potentially getting 1 or 2 of these. $85 isn't terrible because the pre-order price, I think, is $70. $70 is still more than what I would like to spend on a piece of rolling stock, unless it's something special like a nice caboose. Like for boxcars, I like to be in that between $40 and $50 per piece, which is where most of the aftermarket stuff tends to be on things like trains, or when you go to train shows, stuff like that. And that's usually for like nice stuff like Atlas, you know, old K-line, things like that. So again, it is hard to justify buying new rolling stock unless it's part of a set or package. And here we go. So this is kind of solidifying my point. This is the engine I was expecting to see in the O scale area. Legacy O scale should have had this. What's hilarious is when you go over to this and you look at the price, that's the price I was expecting to see for a Legacy O scale version of this. F3 scale Legacy ABBA, I probably would have bought my very first diesel set had that been in this catalog. I'm saying it here, folks. I'm saying it now. Had this been Legacy scale ABBA set for the war bonnet F3, Gold Standards Trains probably would have bought his first diesel set. But it didn't happen. It's in the LionChief 2.0. And they had some great offerings. They had the Southern Pacific. I could have maybe bought that too. I like the Reading. Florida East Coast, not so much, but nice. Still looks good. And then these, this is where I'm starting to fumble with this catalog. I get it. It's supposed to be traditional. It's for the traditional collector, someone who's maybe been collecting for 30, 40, 50 years. in the hobby. I get that these are all aluminum. They actually do look pretty well detailed, so I'll give them that. But they are small. What's their length? They're 15 inches each. I'm sure they'll have good lighting. But this is something that, again, this catalog is really, it's not geared towards a majority of this, the people in this hobby, I feel like. I don't know how many of these sets they're going to sell. It can't be that much. Almost like these are going to become the collector's items, not the scale stuff. So it'll be interesting to see. Something I did want to talk on real quick, the battery-operated O-gauge sets. This is going to be something that most of you might be surprised about. I like this. I actually really like this. So as someone who has 2 young kids, I could see me getting the Thomas and Friends, or maybe something like this Pennsylvania up here, or even this Santa Fe, the Polar Express or the Hogwarts. So we did have someone on our live probably about a month ago who had the Thomas one. And the water vapor smoke effect was actually very impressive. The sounds were very impressive. And the fact that you can run this on regular O-scale track, you don't have to buy this battery-operated track. You can run this on 3-rail O-scale track. I was actually pretty impressed. And I mean, at $80 for a little set that I can set my 3-year-old up with, and I can run it on my outer loop, which doesn't affect any part of my layout. I can run real scale trains on the inside with my Cab 2 remote, and I can let my 3-year-old run this on the outside with water vapor smoke, and it smokes pretty good. That's actually a pretty great deal, and that's very good playability in my opinion. So I know a lot of people saw this, and they're like, this is dumb. But I give this a thumbs up. I do give this a thumbs up. It creates it opens up doors for kids to play with this, where if the kid breaks this at $80, the parents aren't upset. They can actually go out and buy another one if the kid breaks it at $80 for a set. That's not bad. As opposed to like a LionChief set where, you're spending $400 or $500. If the kid breaks it, the parents are getting mad. And they're like, you know what, I'm not buying you another one that costs $400 or $500. Even these nicer sets, $150 for this set. My kid breaks that, I'll be upset for 3 seconds, and I'll be like, you know what, for $150, I'll buy you another one. Just try not to break this one, little Timmy, okay? So hopefully you like my rant on that. Rest of the catalog was nothing too crazy. I try to wrap this up. I'm going longer than I already thought I would be. Cleaning cars, I'm actually glad to see these back. These are fun, especially if people with layouts where you can't reach all the way around. Not bad. We're going to skim through a lot of this stuff. Star Wars, okay, cool. I get it. I like Star Wars too. I'm just not buying trains that have Star Wars. I try to keep my hobby separate. Harry Potter, okay. It's been a long time. We're going to go through all this. Oh, wait, hold on. Bob Ross, still the man. Happy Little Trees. I really would like to do this, or this bridge. Covered bridge. I think that's actually pretty neat. But we'll keep going. Again, I'm just going to I want to get to, I guess, the Christmas stuff. Because Halloween, the Halloween stuff for me is, I don't get it. Spending this kind of money for something, like, at most you're going to run this, a month? Like, it's fun, but I'd rather just go to the dollar store and buy some little Halloween things that I could stick on one of my orange trains, or even an all-black train, and just make it Halloween. If it's for you, great. If you really like it enough to spend this kind of money on it, go for it. Again, it's kind of like people who run only diesel stuff. If that's your thing, awesome. Lionel's, it must be selling for them to keep making it. So, I mean, the glow-in-the-darks, it's novel. It's kind of cool. I just don't know how long the novelty lasts. Christmas, like Christmas, I understand Christmas a little bit more because my Christmas set was out from November 1st to up until about a week or two ago. So like halfway through January, which is a little bit longer. And my kids were running it every day, it seemed like, especially here where the winters get cold. We're not outside much. The Polar Express, I think this is a nice one. This will probably look really good. The one thing that I'm not sure of is if it will have... See, if it says Polar Express, I feel like it should have some announcements from the Polar Express movie, like the Berkshires had. I don't know if these are going to have that. They should clarify that. These sets are nice. This engine is nice. I can't even say anything against it. I like the way this looks. The Heisler set with all this, if you buy all these disconnects, that is one of the nicest Christmas trains I think anyone can have. That's just my opinion. I mean, is it going to be the cheapest one? No. I think it'll be the coolest one to have, though. The way that I look at it, it's almost like it's an elf-sized train, which is just really a neat way to look at it. I don't know if these little coach cars light up or not. If they do, that's even better. Let's see if it says anything about lighting up. Doesn't say anything about lighting up, but that's okay. But I mean, even this one down here with the outhouses and everything, and then these dump coal cars, if you bought this, and this whole set, that is a top-notch Christmas set that I hope somebody buys, somebody makes some really nice videos on, and I see on YouTube in about a year from now. And I think that's kind of it. This is, nice, simple stuff. If you stayed with us that long, yeah, I'm going to stop there. If you stay with us this long, I will reward you with what I ordered as far as the Hudson goes. So as far as the Hudson goes, I pre-ordered... Oh, that didn't work for me. Let's go all the way back. So let's go one more. There we go. So as far as Hudsons go, I ordered the Mr. Muffin's PLNE Hudson with the water scoop effect. It should hopefully be like a mid to dark green. I'm rolling the dice. I'm hoping that the color is correct. If it comes out lime green, I'll probably return it and try to get maybe this black one with the water scoop, because this was my first choice. But I did like the PLNE colors if they come out correct. So I did place an order for that. Hopefully this review's been fun for you guys. Again, I think this catalog, the real thing is to look at it as this catalog really wasn't meant to be like every other catalog. This was supposed to just be like a reflection of Lionel and their past, and catering to those people who are nostalgic for the old times and seeing Lionel how they've progressed over time. For me, it's, I can still appreciate a Vision Line Hudson. Like, I don't have to know the history of Lionel to want a Vision Line Hudson. The Commodore, on the other hand, that's a different situation. I don't see the value in that engine, especially being Vision Line. So that's up to you guys. I know a lot of people are mad about some of the prices. Honestly, I think Lionel, given inflation over the past 5 to 7 years, has actually done a good job with prices. They could be higher. Trust me, they could be higher. I think a lot of people forget that Lionel knows kind of where people are maxing out at being able to have willingness to spend money on toy trains. So they are doing their best to keep prices down, I can assure you. And with that, I think we're going to wrap it up. Thank you for joining us. And hopefully Volume 2 will be fun and maybe have some large articulated steam in it for me. Let us know what you guys were thinking about getting in the catalog, what you thought of this quick review. Hopefully, I know it wasn't super quick, but yeah, let us know what you think. Let us know what you're looking to get and your thoughts on the catalog. And we'll catch you on the next one.